Welcome to the Cohn phone. Today is the soft launch of the 49ers quality control merchandise. If you want to see what's up, what's available, 49ersqcmerch.com, 5% off CHP1, Cohn, I don't know what it means, CHP1, California Highway Patrol, but it's a 5% discount. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I intend to have, I'm working with Everett Kramer, who does a lot of the 49ers quality control graphics on Twitter. You may know Everett. And Toni Culp, who is the mother of the cute little girl who called in a couple of weeks ago and said that Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team. She's making everything. I think she's going to call in shortly. If she does, I will introduce you to her. Anyway, I just want to let you know, if you want to call in, the link is in the description. I want to just do something real quick. I want to go through some camp stats that matter. I want to take stock of the 49ers now that there's a day off. There's been 4 days of camp. And I think it's important to look at some stats and really talk about what's going on with this team. We know the defense is good. They're intercepting lots of passes. Everyone's focused on the passing game. We'll talk about the passing game in a minute. But this is a team that's going to run the ball more than last year. Last year, they averaged about 125 rushing yards a game, about 29 carries a game. This year, they're going to average 32 rushes a game, at least. They're going to be averaging 160, 170 rushing yards a game in that area. They're going to lead the league in rushing. They're going to run more than they pass. And so I think let's look at what's happening in camp with the running game. I can't tell you yards and stuff because they're not tackling, but I can tell you carries with the first team. Everyone's thinking, is there going to be a committee? What's up with that? Well, with the first team offense so far, carries are distributed like this. 18 for Elijah Mitchell, 7 for Trey Lance. That's 3 design runs and 4 scrambles. 2 for Trey Sermon, 1 for Jeff Wilson Jr., and 1 for Ray McLeod. I think it's pretty clear that the Niners are going to use Elijah Mitchell like he's Terrell Davis or Alfred Morris. He's getting 20, 21 carries a game as long as he can stay healthy. He looks way bigger, 10 pounds heavier. That's the plan. 3 down back. Elijah Mitchell, he'll get 20, 21 carries a game. Trey Lance going to get 8. 4 design runs, 3 or 4 design runs, 3 or 4 scrambles, 4 or 5 scrambles. That's how that's going to go. And then that's puts you to 29, 30 carries right there. Then you got 2 for Deebo, 1 for Ray. And that's it. I mean, you might give another running back a carry, but essentially the other guys are on the team in case Elijah Mitchell gets hurt. You don't understand how many touches, how many yards Elijah Mitchell's going to get this year. They're going to give him as much as he can physically handle. Watch. I bet you. If training camp is any indicator. So, okay, really good run game. Trey Lance is going to be a part of it. Really good defense. What about the passing game? His completion percent, right now, he's 26 of 50. Not great. 3 picks, no touchdowns. Not great. Now, they haven't been in the red zone yet. I'm going to give you a passing stat that's going to leave you encouraged. The deep passing, right? That's what the whole thing is. Jimmy was efficient and accurate, but he couldn't throw deep. So, Lance on the deep passes, 11 attempts in 4 days, 5 completions. That's very good. But he also had 3 drops. So he's really pinpoint accurate down the field right now and passes 20 yards or more down the field. 5 of 11 with 3 drops. That's got to make you feel good because the formula of this Niner team is like the formula of, the Niner team from 10 years ago with Kaepernick or the Seahawks team from 10 years ago with Russell Wilson. Play great defense, have the best running game in the league, and have a quarterback who can make big plays, a few, with his arm and his legs. The Niners have that. The only question really with the Niners now is 3rd down. Can they block well enough? Can Trey Lance move the chains efficiently enough? Because if he can't, then these drives are not going to stall, not going to be able to run the ball as much as they want. But like Kaepernick could, Russell Wilson could. If Lance can, if this is a decent enough 3rd down offense, this offense is going to be really good because they're going to be able to dictate with their run game. They're just only going to throw as much as they need to, and they're going to be taking shots. Big plays. All right, let me see if Tony's here. Tony.
Hey, Grant. How are you today?
I'm good. thank you for coming on. Everyone, I want to put the little banner underneath. Toni is making all of the 49ers quality control merchandise. So when you purchase something, you are supporting Toni and her little one who called in 2 weeks ago and informed everyone that Jimmy Garoppolo, in fact, is still on the 49ers. It's true. Anyway, could you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Definitely. So I'm a mother of two, married to my husband for 13 years, love the 49ers. My husband usually is the one that calls in, but every now and again I'll call into like Rombo. But I do like to listen in the chat, a little chat sometimes, but I don't go too far. But I've been creating merch, not really merch, but I started out making cards, and then making t-shirts for, little bits of friends and stuff. And then got the opportunity to do this, which I'm very appreciative of. And the opportunity is very exciting. And, while the Niners are kicking ass on the field, I'll be kicking ass on the merch.
That's right. So when you purchase this quality control merch, understand this is a Cohn phone production.
Mm-hmm.
This is and Bryant calls in. Bryant might be here later. You just never know, but he's here frequently. You will recognize his face when you see him. Toni, thank you so much. You were doing great work. And you and I and Bryant and Everett will all go out and get some dinner soon.
That'll be really exciting. Looking forward to it.
All right. Good to see you, Toni. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Everybody check out that merch.
Please do. Thanks, Toni.
Thanks. Bye.
For sure. Oh, sorry, Martin. Gotta be truthful to the queue. Faithful to the queue. Mid-Atlantic, Teach 89, new member. Thank you. I'm just gonna get these donations real quick because I don't want to lose them, and then we'll move, and then I'll take all your calls. Great content. Thank you, Jims. Appreciate you. He says corner seem legit, but who is Quan replacement? Darquez Denard at this point. Leo Phoenix says, what are your thoughts on Trey Lance intangibles, the mental, the work ethic stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet? I think it's off the charts. I think it's really good. The question with him is going to be accuracy. Johns George says, Grant, your reporting is top-notch. Thank you. Keep up the great coverage. Do you think Bosa's comment was a shade on Jimmy than Trey Lance about not making big mistakes like dumb INTs versus easy throws? I don't know. Maybe it's just he needs a class on public speaking or something. It's like what he said was negative. Say something positive. You can say the same thing in a positive way. He said, we'll be fine if Trey doesn't make big mistakes. No. What you want to say is, because what he's saying is, we believe in ourselves. We don't need to believe in Trey. We believe in ourselves. We're good. We'll be fine if he doesn't make mistakes. No. What you say is, we believe in Trey. We'll be fine if he does what we know he can do. Because that implies all the same stuff that you said in the other sentence. It still implies that you believe in yourself. It still implies that he needs to protect the football because that's what you know he can do if he's doing what he know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's called being positive. You're the best player on the team, Nick. Your leader. He's the one under pressure, not you. Nick Bosa comes out like Jeff Spicoli or like Keanu. Yo, what's up? Oh, he has no pressure. Why are you putting extra pressure on Trey Lance? Take it off. Anyway, thanks, John. Jeremy Smith says, QC merch, my guy, QC merch, QC merch, QC merch. Only Niners gear I'm going to wear this year. Mad love, Grant, for my football therapist. Jeremy, thank you. All right, let's do this. In order. Chris, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Grant?
How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there, man. I just this really implies to Trey Lance in a roundabout way. They got to get something for Jimmy G. They got to. They have to. They have bumbled this so bad. And the reason why I say that is because when they got Jimmy G, what was the first thing they did? They went out and they got themselves a supposedly left tackle, which was supposed to be McGlinchey when Staley retires. The first thing that you do when you get yourself a good quarterback or a quarterback that you think is going to do something, you shore up the offensive line.
True.
That is what you do. The mere fact that this man is still on the team with $24 million and you just cut him and you're looking at the offensive line the way that it's playing right now, even though there are no pads on there, whatever team says we want to trade for Jimmy, the whole 49er staff needs to go and look at their offensive line and see who can they get back. Period.
Jimmy Garoppolo was at practice yesterday running around in front of the fans, giving them a salute. Like, go home. Go home.
I'm telling you.
You're not on the team anymore.
You got a second. You traded a second round pick, and this is what the man did. And for a second round pick, do you think the Bears or the Dolphins, if they give away a second round pick for another quarterback and they had the success that Jimmy had, Dolphins have been to the Super Bowl in God knows how long. They would take that. We squeezed everything out of that man. Get something. You should have had at least cut him or get something. Get an offensive line. Get something for him. Because if Trey goes there,
for him, they're not going to get. If they get anything for him, I'll applaud him. But what's funny is they're like waiting to cut him because they're like, oh well, he could sign with Seattle, and then we don't want him to get prepared. Who cares if he plays for the Seahawks? It's Jimmy Garoppolo. No, who cares? Why are you afraid of him? If you're really afraid of Jimmy going to the Seahawks, why are you getting rid of him?
Exactly.
You should want him to go to Seattle. You should be fist pumping if Seattle signs him. You're scared of that? That's a bad sign. I mean, it's not a bad sign. It's like, have some courage.
It's like that. The worst insult in a sports movie was in Moneyball. When the guy was talking to him, he's like, so I know you want me to do this. Like, no, man, that's not what I want. We're not paying your salary. The Yankees are paying half our salary for you to play against them. That is the worst. I mean, that's what it is. That's where we're at now. You have got to get something for the, or otherwise you look like an idiot. How can you, 24 million? I mean, he may not even be active. Can you do that? Can they deactivate him when the season starts?
Yeah, but he can also say, I want to practice. I'm healthy. I want to practice. Steve McNair did that. There was a thing between Tennessee. They tried to do this with McNair. McNair was like, no, I'm good. I want to practice. And then he got dealt to Baltimore, I believe. Anyway, I got a lot of calls today, Chris, but I'm with you. Make it happen now. There's no reason to let this drag on. Thanks
you got that right.
Peace.
Thanks, man, Grant.
For sure. Dylan says Bill Russell just, oh no. Are you serious? That's awful. So sorry to hear that. Oakland legend. Maybe the greatest basketball player of all time. Definitely the greatest defensive player of all time. Ooh, that sucks. Thanks, Dylan. All right, Korean Niner.
How are you doing, Grant?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I'll have to thank the person who tried to steal my debit card number. I could re-up the membership whenever I get my new debit card.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. I know it wasn't you. So
yeah.
Well, I don't have a credit card, so I just have a debit card.
Okay. All right.
What Chris was talking about with you, if you think you have an elite quarterback, what's the first priority if you're a Bill Belichick or a Bill Walsh or, a coach like that? You have to protect your quarterback and make sure you don't get them injured on the field. I don't think Bill Belichick ever thought of, hey, I can't make a Super Bowl without protecting Tom at the time, or maybe Mac coming up. Who knows on that? But do you actually, when you're at practice, do you actually see any of the current offensive linemen outside of Trent Williams actually being starters? Like when some of the backup or rookies are in for those reps?
It seems to me like what the Niners are banking on is having experience at the tackles and the center spot. So the two guards are going to be green, but they'll have experience on either side of them. So right now it's Banks on the left and Burford on the right. See what happens. The pads haven't gone on yet. I mean, I think the idea is Burford is very athletic and he can run. He can do the run blocking stuff. Banks, he should be able to be a good run blocker too. I don't know if he can run, but he's strong. Let's see what they're like in pass protection. They'll get tested in preseason. If they're not good enough, the Niners have moves they can make. I mean, they still can get rid of Jimmy. They can create cap space. There's free agents out there. There's things they can do. I think they're just trying to take stock of what they got right now. They prefer not to go out and spend more money because apparently they're being thrifty this year. I don't know. Maybe, inflation's hit them hard. Who knows what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah. On the defensive line, do you also see them probably needing another defensive tackle with Hurst going down?
Probably because they have like DNs playing D tackle in practice right now just to get through. I mean, all of a sudden, Robert Nkemdiche and Javon Kinlaw have to be Iron Men for them. And I don't think the plan isn't to have Javon Kinlaw just do 100% of the first team snaps anytime soon. It's supposed to be a gradual process. So they got to get through practices. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a move, a transaction. That was the stupid word I was looking for. Football, They always use like really big words for no reason. Transaction. It's a move. Anyway, I got to take more calls, man. It's good to see you.
Oh, one last. Are you doing the Channeline merchandise with Tony? That's the last question.
Probably not on the first wave, but we're going to do a suggestion box. So, and this is like for, this whole thing is for the Cohn phone callers. So if there's something you think that you guys want, let us know, and we'll make it eventually, sooner than later, and we'll get it to you.
All right. Thank you, Grant.
Thanks, Korean Niner. All right. Keneal Mason.
Yo, what's good, Grant? It's been a minute since I've been on here, man. How are you doing?
How you doing, man? Good to see you. I'm okay.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. I want to say just again, rest in peace to Bill Russell. I saw that put in the chat a little earlier, man. Obviously a Celtic, University of San Francisco legend as well. So it's a tough thing to hear, but I want to make sure we give our condolences to him in this
Kids,
chat.
if you don't know who Bill Russell is and you want to see the most outrageous sports resume in the history of sports, check out what he accomplished. Everyone like downplays it because it was the 60s, and I don't understand why that doesn't count. But even like Tom Brady, like he won the championship. He played. There was a 15-year stretch where I think he won 13 championships, including his 2 years at USF. Not exactly a basketball powerhouse. So yeah, it's kind of amazing what he accomplished. He was also the coach of the team at the end while playing. Yeah.
Yep. Crazy.
First black coach in North
Actually.
American pro sports. I mean, dude was amazing.
But as far as the Niners go and everything, man, it was interesting what you pointed out. I think it might have been yesterday or a couple of days ago about Jimmy kind of being in Trey's head because it's been in the facility and everything like that.
Well,
and
you're a therapist, my wife's therapist. We were talking about it, and she was like, I mean, I wouldn't dismiss it. It seems like, how could it not put more pressure on you?
Like, I didn't think about it like
that. Field running, saluting like he's like freaking Frank Sinatra. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Come on.
This is my point, though, right? Like, while he was in the background, I think it was kind of Trey was in his head. But when he came out there on the field, I feel like Trey was like, "Oh
all
no,
right. Here we go."
Like, and
he let people know whose house this is. Oh no, yeah. Hey, so, Jimmy, why don't you make this throw down the 30 yards down the field to Brandon Knight? Go ahead. Do something that makes the people ooh and ah, not just the 10-yard throw over the middle.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a golf clap throw.
Exactly.
That's a golf clap throw. He's a golf clap quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance is like a oh or whoa. That was off. One of the two.
Trey's gonna have that Steph effect, type of deal where it's like instead of that two-pointer, that easy layup, it's a 30-footer type of deal. So I hope that he's
on deep throw so far with 3 drops. That's 8 of 11. Dude, he's.
I'm just saying.
No one wants to talk about that though. That's why I don't think you should really trip him on the interceptions right now. Like, they're not good, and he needs to learn from them. But, like, it's not like he's driving down the field and he's getting into the red zone so he can throw touchdowns and he can have a TD to INT ratio. Like, you're going to throw some picks, but he's offsetting him right now with huge plays, or at least right now. Yeah.
And I know you got to keep it moving, but my one thing I want to talk about as well was TDP and the Deebo about him being the same kind of speed, height, build. I know it's not quite the same per se, but my question for you is when Deebo first came in, was it something where you're like, oh man, he's taking the lid off the defense in camp and things like that? Could you envision him being able to outrun angles like the way that he does and things like that, or that just come? So
I couldn't see that in camp. What I could see, because if I remember correctly, it was 2019. The starting wide receivers in camp that year, he's gone, were Marquise Goodwin and Dante Pettis. And Deebo was running with the second team almost exclusively, and he was looking really good. But I mean, I couldn't see him going against, Richie Sherman, stuff like that. JC, you ready? Hey, JC.
Hey, what's up? This is the first time I got to call in.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from inside my crane at work.
Nice. All right. Well, what's on your mind?
Oh, I just want to call on stuff, and everybody goes on about Kyle Shanahan being such an offensive genius. I'm like, last year he had to figure out, hand off the ball to Deebo Samuel, run that way and don't get tackled. I mean, he got less than a 500% win rate. And he's constantly saved by the defense. The average scores per game is not that high.
You're right. It took him half the year to figure out to hand the ball. How does it take you that long to figure out hand the ball to your best player? Remember when Trey Lance started in Arizona and they lost and they gave Deebo one carry at the 10-yard line and he scored untouched? It was like it was the fourth quarter too. It took you that long to find that play. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think even during that game that the stats were he was really close to Murray. For as far as stats. I mean, he almost went. And then Jimmy G got whooped by Colt McCoy.
That's true. That's true.
And every year Kyle tries to implement his system. He goes into like the championship game, does 3/4 of what everybody does, and then in the last quarter he's like, "All right, my system," and blows it.
I know it's really weird. I mean, his tenure here has been defined by defense and an offense that really has never found a consistent identity or quarterback.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to cut this short, but I got to go. My boss is like waving at me.
JC, that was fun.
Later.
Take care. That was cool. All right. Let's get Bryant Culp on the show. Hey, Bryant. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me on. I got to go to Subway the other day after I heard the news about Jimmy, and we tried that sub being Lily, and it's not bad.
Nice.
I'm hoping they cut him soon, but I just don't see it happening. I think you're right.
All of a sudden, they're like afraid of the Seahawks signing him.
Yep, I think you're right. I think you nailed it right there, and I think they're just going to hold him until they pass the Seahawks, and then maybe they can let him go somewhere else. And then the other thing I wanted to say to you real quick was why pay Deebo? Why?
Well, they haven't yet, have they? That's the one thing I wanted to say. On this day, today should be the day. If it's going to happen, it should be today or tomorrow morning. So that's like Deebo Watch is officially on today. But I'm saying with you, like, if you have it's the Kyler Murray thing. It's the same thing as Kyler Murray. They have questions about Kyler Murray's professionalism or maturity or study habits. Why are you giving him $230 million? Why don't you wait a year? Wait one more year and see and learn a little bit of. He's 25, right? He might answer those questions or not. Same with Deebo. If you have questions about whatever, his lower body injuries, his off-season training habits or not, wait a year. If you really have questions.
Yeah,
you know
I think he's a great player. I think he deserves to get paid. But when you have the ability to franchise tag him, why wouldn't you think of doing that?
Well, the thing with the franchise tag is technically they don't have to sign it.
Right.
They don't have to. But I mean,
because he's got one more year this year, right? So make him play his rookie contract out, and then franchise tag him next year.
Well, look, I mean, he still hasn't signed yet. It seems like, I don't know, DK got signed. It's taking a while. If he doesn't get signed by tomorrow, it's officially getting really weird. Tomorrow is sort of like the first deadline, not a deadline, but the first deadline, because the pads go on. He's starting to miss important things if he's not there tomorrow. So let's see.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on, and I'll call in again. You have a great day.
Take care, Brian. Again, the thing with Deebo to me is I think DK Metcalf has the same agent as him. DK just got a 3-year extension. I think Deebo would want a 3-year extension. I think the Niners want to give him a 5-year extension. The difference, I mean, both of them would have most of the guaranteed money in the first 2 years. The Niners just want those extra years of like team control. Players don't want that anymore. Will they change their precedent? We shall see.
Mr. Cohn.
Mr. Martin, I got your email. I wrote you back. I think it's a great idea. We're going to do it. Yes.
Hey, cool. I'm glad to hear that. I think Deebo was tripping for real. And not because, it's everything goes up every year, right? If you do a repeat, and I understand that there's a risk of an injury, but if you make it through the year and you're just as useful as you were the previous year when you got everybody talking, shouldn't you get paid more the subsequent year? Shouldn't your contract be worth more? Shouldn't you as a player be worth more to the team? If you play out the entire contract and then make them sign a completely new contract as opposed to an extension, I think he's cutting himself short.
I agree. I mean, it's like, it's not just what the Niners think of him. It's what the whole league thinks of him. He sees it. Right. No one made a big offer for him. The executives and coaches ranked him 9th best at wide receiver. That's a slap in the face for a guy who was an all-pro last year. So what are the issues? They question your durability. Okay, come back and stay healthy. And they question your ability to like get downfield and be a wide receiver. All right. Well, show me it was Jimmy Garoppolo. Go. You can do those things with Trey Lance. Ayuk did it yesterday.
Yes, he did.
I mean, prove it. And I know it's tough playing out like a lame duck year. You don't want to do it. You could get hurt, yada, yada, yada. Still, I mean,
that's just the risk. I mean, we're talking about football players. Like, why even step on the field if you're concerned about getting hurt, right? Like that possibility exists every time the ball gets snapped. So that's kind of like a lame excuse for me. you're my man you're the man with that's boots on the ground. I know we're in the infancy of the season. What do you think about that line so far?
Well, I think Mike McGlinchey's return yesterday was very encouraging. Like,
okay,
for example, let's compare him to Javon Kinlaw. With Kinlaw, they're being cautious. He had an ACL reconstruction. They're doing the right thing. With McGlinchey, I was surprised he played like most of the snaps first day back. I mean, it was like him and Trent Williams played the exact same amount. And it seemed like they were saying, like, McGlinchey's good to go. Like, I was not expecting that. I thought he'd be on the Javon Kinlaw.
What exactly was the nature of the issue? It was like a torn muscle or a torn tendon?
Yeah. Torn muscle. Torn
muscle.
I don't know.
Well, from personal experience, when you tear your tendon, I've torn my Achilles. The rehab is slow, but the rehab is just you slowly regaining the usage of the tendon and muscle. Once you've got that strength, and once you've rehabbed for a certain amount of time, you actually are good to go. It's already healed. It's more about how much stress can you withstand to put on it. But it's not in any danger anymore. So him being out there on the field, full snap, ready to go, means to me that he's number one, wants to play, because that was a question. But number two, the injury does seem to be fully healed, and they're just trying to see exactly how effective he is after the healing.
I want to say too, like, when I question this offensive line, it's not like I also say this team's going to lead the league in rushing. So it can't be a bad offense. It can't be terrible. I do think McGlinchey's a good run blocker. Trent Williams is great. Brunskill fits the scheme. I think they should be able to run. My question is on 3rd and 7, like, who's getting whooped one-on-one? Maybe, I mean, is it McGlinchey? Because when he's 290, he gets run over. When he's 310, he's decent. So what's Burford going to look like? He's 22. What's Banks going to look like? He's unproven. We know what Brunskill and Williams should look like.
And this is where I'm going to rely on my head coach, and I'm going to call upon his skills to scheme players to move a certain way so that we can have the best chances of getting the ball to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe that means shifting use check to the left or the right to put him forward more towards that motion. Or maybe that means dragging a tight end over. Maybe that means doing a pull. Any number of options to help out those lesser experienced guys. I think Kyle is pretty good in terms of being able to do that.
I agree. Rob, I got to take some more calls. It's always good to see you, though. Thanks for calling
in. Always, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Take it easy. Let me take some questions. John says, favorite and least favorite part of your job. My favorite part of my job is, covering a game and performing that night after the game. I mean, the training camp, just all the action of being a sports writer. It's not like being a teacher. Things happen. That's fun. Also, my least favorite part of the job is waiting around. A lot of waiting as a sports writer. Gotta just wait all the time. Keneal says, I got kicked. Thanks for having me. Oh, sorry you got kicked, man. It was a good call, though. I don't know how you got kicked. I didn't kick you. Pay Deebo or pay Bosa, which is the priority? It's supposed to be one this year and one next year. You could do both next year, though. They're acting like Bosa's the priority. When they talk about Bosa, they're like, oh, he's just so great. Gosh, oh golly, he's the greatest player. He does everything perfect. With Deebo, they like clearly have misgivings for whatever reason. Hello, Gammon. Nice shirt.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So first thing I want to talk about was just how the offensive line woes are just absolutely overblown. Okay. When I'm looking at this, Grant, right, I'm listening to you and others of the media right there, this defense is making kind of similar noise that they did in 2019. Now, the biggest difference between this defense here, the 2022 defense, the 2019 defense, is that you could hang your hat on the defensive line, the 2019 defense, right? Like, I just looked back at that. It was just filled with Pro Bowlers, okay? So all the weight of the world was really on the defensive line, and we knew that's what made our defensive unit special. What makes this defense better than, I think, the 2019 defense is that this defense can challenge an offense at all three different levels, right? So short, intermediate, and we're seeing that with over the middle. You know, we have these ball hawkers that are just kind of over there, and then also to deep. I love Richard Sherman, but he does not have the same ability to cover deep as, let's say, Charvarius Ward, right? And when it comes down to it, right, some of the things that you're talking about is that some of the things that where Trey Lance is getting sacked or he's trying to make these off-schedule plays. Well, I always think about Russell Wilson when he was going up against the Legion of Boom. I think that had a significant hand in shaping Wilson and the offense with their off-schedule plays. Wilson really benefited from going up against the best defense in the league, and I think that that's what we're seeing right now with Lance. And that really pains me to say because I really have nothing but love and fond memories of the 2010, 2012 Patrick Willis-led defenses. But we have to remember that off-schedule plays only happen about 2 to 4 times a game. So if you're going up against an average defense in practice, it's not a skill that the offense really gets to work on. Whereas this offseason, Trey Lance really gets to work on that a lot. And also, too, this is an elite defense going up against an average offensive line. This defense will make elite offenses with man bun wearing elite offenses look pedestrian, right? Remember, this offensive line strength is more so geared towards run blocking, not pass blocking. Why is that? Well, that's just like you said at the beginning of the show.
They run more than pass.
Right. Bingo. And I think also, too, this will have a direct impact on the running back depth chart. Running backs who can be effective pass blockers are going to see the field a lot more because they're going to have a lot more ample opportunities in practice to actually have to pick up blockers or that sort of thing. And for this reason alone, I'm just going to go ahead and call it. JaMychal Hasty is going to be regulated to the practice squad. Jordan Mason will make the 53. And then last thing before I get off the air here, have you seen how good Javon Kinlaw looks? Like, he looks completely different. Anybody here, I really do care about Grant Cohn's safety. If you can just donate some money so he can get some karate lessons, because Javon Kinlaw looks like a scary man. Love you, Grant.
Thanks, man. I'm cool with Javon, man. I got nothing but love for Javon. Hey, TN9, are you ready?
What's up?
You're not driving, right?
No, Grant, I'm not driving. I know the rules. I'm actually, my wife is chauffeuring me right now. It's my birthday.
On the other side of the car anyway. I feel like
see, there she go. See, she's driving. See, she's driving.
How you doing?
Man, long time. Appreciate you letting me on.
If I'm like looking at my phone in the passenger seat, my wife gets a little like, really? You're just gonna look at your phone? Now you're on the show. She's great. That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, it's his birthday today, so he's off the hook.
All right, fair enough. Hey, happy birthday.
Appreciate it, man. Back down to business though. So from everything you've reported, it sounds like the defense is gonna be pretty nice versus what most people are taking from it, that the offense is terrible. Now, granted,
the only question that's arising with the defense right now is that D tackle spot because of the injuries. But Armstead's coming back.
I mean, I guess
coming back.
Yeah. I mean, yay, Eric Armstead.
6 sacks. Yeah.
But nah, man, I think we're gonna be fine. Deebo, if he's smart, he'll sign within the next 2 to 3 days because he's not really hurt. He's not really helping himself because I mean, we saw no one values him on the open market. No. As far as what the trade offers were, I mean, hell, I thought people would be bending over backwards. I'm not gonna lie, but it was like, no, here's the 10th pick, and good luck.
Yeah.
So not 2? No. Here's the 10th pick.
Niner fans are like, we need 2 first-round picks for Deebo. Like, no. No.
What? Oh well, and I mean, at least how does he look as far as shape? Is he still looking like a little chubby, or? Oh no! Don't make that face, Grant. No,
he looks good. The thing that I noticed with Deebo that's kind of funny is like he's the kind of guy who comes out to work in like a long sleeve shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm used to. I remember Vernon Davis, like or Nick Bosa, guys who were in really great shape, kind of want everyone to see. Like, hey, look at my 6-pack. I don't think Deebo has a 6-pack, man. He's like long sleeve shirt, kind of flowy. Like, hey,
he looks like that dude. He looks like that dude that who's in shape, but he just can't get a 6-pack. It's just like he's buff.
He's always it's those last 5 pounds. It's those final 5 pounds. I just like compare him to other guys that got big money this year. DK, AJ Brown, Those guys don't have that extra 5. They're not coming out to practice in a long sleeve shirt.
You know what? Remember those old school wrestler guys back in the vaudevillain days where they were just big buff guys but like no muscle definition? That's what Deebo reminds me of.
Hey,
Like
when Deebo goes in the pool, do you think he keeps his t-shirt on?
he might be the t-shirt in the pool guy.
He might be a t-shirt in the pool guy. Oh, that's terrible. The Niners might be like, hey, we're not going to give you this contract until you're no longer a t-shirt in the pool. Sorry, it's a condition. It could be in the contract.
Well, you see why they so ready to pay Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa looks, he looks inhuman.
Why.
That doesn't look safe as buff as he is. That's the thing that scares me about him.
Me too.
He's so big and he's flexible, but I think he's kind of teeters that line where it's getting too close, where he's too big. And
that's why
all
I didn't want the Niners to sign him. He was coming off that core injury. I was like, this guy is going to be an injury waiting to happen. And so far, it's hard to say. Like 1 year he's the best, the next year he's hurt. We'll see what his career ends up as. We'll see.
Well, in his defense, last year when he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be back bigger and stronger and faster," everybody's like,
he was.
Dude was a monster.
He was.
But so far, everything you told me about Trey, I figured it's about what I figured, and I think the growing pains are cool. I would much rather hear he's throwing a pick or so in a practice versus he's shredding our defense, because that typically means your defense isn't very good. And even those years when Patrick Mahomes was, declared the GOAT, their defense wasn't all that great.
No,
I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl. A few bad play calls and a terrible throw by some guy named Garoppolo, who shall not be named any further.
That name rings a bell. I vaguely remember a player.
Yeah.
Garoppolo. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that guy.
I don't really remember any like signature plays but I do remember the name.
It sounds like, I don't know how, but it sounds like it rhymes with interception.
All right, man. So what are you doing for your birthday? What's next on the
Actually, I'm in Nashville. We actually came here for SummerSlam last night.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It was third row. Didn't know I was gonna be sitting like a row away from Dwight Howard. Cool guy. Kid Rock wasn't too far away either. He was like, we were like 2 rows behind him. We were like right in the right behind the commentary table. Super cool. I was shocked. Yeah, I was shocked I didn't see our boy George Kittle, with it being in his hometown and everything, but I forgot. Training camp, he's got to go and catch like 4 passes because they really need him there.
Kid Rock's like the mayor of that town. He's got a whole thing.
Dude, I didn't know. Yeah. I thought he was super Detroit. I did not know.
Detroit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I know things about Kid Rock.
Remember what I told you last time about Nashville? I ain't gonna repeat it, but you'll remember.
I do remember. I'm trying to go to Memphis. I'm trying to see what that's about. I've been to Nashville. I think I got it. I don't know if I would necessarily like need to make a trip back.
Oh, and I'm not gonna front. It's a cool city. It's a nice mid-sized metropolis.
But
not my favorite.
To make multiple trips there, you gotta really like country music. You gotta really like country music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta be one of those kind of guys that's like, yeah, and it's like, nah, that's not. I'm just saying.
Dude, I've seen so many cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So many cowboy boots. It's like, bro, it's the summer.
I was in Denver over the summer, and there was a little bit of that yeehaw there. I was like, wow, in Denver? Wow. Anyway, I got a lot more calls, man, but it's great to see you.
I appreciate it, bro.
Happy birthday.
Peace. Thanks again, GC.
Later. All right. Who we got? Spinner. You're muted. There you go.
Hey, how's it going there, Grant?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Loving so far what's going on. We know the offense is always going to tag along way behind the defense. They did it last year. Exact same thing.
Frankly, these 11-on-11s with no pads are really a big disadvantage to the offense. They used to do it for 2 days max. Now it's like 4 or 5. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to use your physical force to stop them from coming around you. So
how do you block Nick Bosa if you can't be physical?
Yeah,
ridiculous.
You can't. You
Yeah.
can't. So he's like instant into the backfield. So
Instantly, yeah.
yeah. Gonna say Trey's performing the way you expect him. He's never really been a pocket passer. So that middle of the field pass has always been a problem for him. So he's working on it. He's doing okay.
Yeah, that'll come with
Uh,
reps.
but man, those downfield passes, whoo, yeah, love it.
And it's
Love
like
it so much.
if you have the defense, if you're going to lead the league or try to in rushing, if you can just get some, some rushing from the quarterback and some big plays with his arms. I mean, we've seen that formula work.
Yeah. And in a real game, what did he do? What did he do to Houston? He tore him apart.
He tore him
basically.
apart. He threw about 23 passes, ran 8 times. That's
Mhm.
sort of what he's going to do. He's
Yeah,
going to throw about
exactly.
25 to 27 passes a game, and the Niners are going to run 30 to 35 times a game, and that's going to be their formula.
Yep. As far as Interceptolo goes, I can't believe he's out there on the field. That's just shame on him.
Shame on him. Shame on the
You
49ers.
know his agent's telling him to do that.
Yeah.
He's
Show your face.
Get rid of him. Who cares if Seattle gets him? That's 2 wins for us.
That's the way I look at it. Who cares?
Yeah.
They should drive him to Seattle. You know, put him on the Greyhound bus. Don't pay for Southwest. Put him on the Greyhound bus.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Give him a Game Boy and say enjoy yourself. It'll be 2 days.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Play
Anyway,
Zelda.
I just want to see him off the team so badly. It's going to
don't think it
ruin the
helps having him
entire
around.
season if he's on this team for any
What
length
message
of
does
time.
it send to Trey Lance that he's still here running around?
Mm,
What
very
message
bad.
does it send? Because I'm sure the Niners aren't really being clear with Trey. So what does he interpret? The 22-year-old? How does the 22-year-old brain take that? Oh, there's
He's
Jimmy.
still here? What
still here.
the hell? I thought this was my team.
Right. And then,
Right?
like, you got Nick Bosa saying all he has to do is not make big mistakes. So it's like, oh, okay, so I'm being judged. I can't just be myself. You're not
Yeah.
telling me, hey, go be you. We believe in you. It's like, hey, don't fuck this up. Because Jimmy's right there. It's like, oh, thanks for the vote of confidence. Entire organization? What the hell? I just don't understand. It seems like if you really want a 22-year-old to succeed, you do it by, like, trying to pump him
Yeah,
up.
especially what they paid for him. Oh my goodness, you got to be serious. Paying 2-3 first-round picks. Oh
What's
my!
funny is when he eventually tears it up, all the people on the Niners, the coaches, the front office are going to be like, we always knew it. We always believed in it. Yeah, huh? That's right. That's why you held on to Jimmy Garoppolo to the very last.
Complete mismanagement by the entire organization.
I know.
He should have been gone as soon as we knew we were going to take Trey Lance. Get rid of him that year.
Yeah,
they shouldn't
absolutely.
have had that first year, to play around and lose the division game.
Because all they really accomplished last year was they just took the heat off of Kyle. They improved his regular season record.
That's exactly all
games.
they did.
Great, sweet.
Yep.
And now
you know what? Trey Lance had done the same thing, and he wouldn't have lost that game against the Rams.
Yeah,
that's my feeling.
I know.
I mean,
when
we
I say,
beat the
the
Rams
Niners
3 times as it was in the regular season. You think Trey Lance is not going to tear the Rams apart? Oh, come on.
I tweeted yesterday that the Niners upgraded at quarterback. Like, Trey's an upgraded quarterback over Jimmy. Don't let anyone tell you different. And some people really be like, you can't say that. It's like, that's not a very, it's not a very outrageous thing to say. And anyway, we've seen Jimmy. We know what that is. Spinner, I got to take
All right,
more
man. You have a great one.
Thanks as always. Jack says you should make a shirt that says more on him in a minute. We will for you. It seems like that one would be a popular one. What's up, Franklin?
Hey, Grant. How you been?
Good, man. How you been?
Oh, bro, preparing for this last year of college, getting ready to apply to medical school and stuff.
Congratulations, man. Making big moves.
I appreciate that. How's your dad been?
He's doing a lot better. He's going to be coming over for dinner tonight.
That's cool. Oh, Grant, look at that. Yeah. Internet, straight. How'd you get a new phone?
Yeah, you definitely. I can tell you got a new phone, man. You coming through in like 5G plus.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
But what I had wanted to do is everybody, 49er fan, just take a huge breath. Just read and let it out. Let's get one thing straight. As talented as Trey Lance truly is, even Russell Wilson didn't go to the Super Bowl year one. It took Russell Wilson year three. And let's be honest, when they made that Super Bowl, Russell Wilson barely played because that defense was dominating the Broncos.
That's true. That game was over before Russell Wilson did a damn thing.
Exactly. That game was
Yeah.
like 40 something to nothing when Russell
Yeah.
Wilson got his first snap.
That's true. Didn't the Broncos like snap the ball through the end zone the first play? I think they did.
Exactly. They snapped it right over Peyton Manning's head.
That's the mark of a team that's there to compete. Anyway, yeah, I think like people are so focused on throwing. Like this is a running team. Elijah Mitchell is like might be even more important than the quarterback. Elijah Mitchell is going to go. He could go for 1,600 yards on the ground this year. They're gonna give him as much as he can physically handle.
That's true. And another thing about the running game, no one is gonna admit this, but you. Trey Sherman is not a Jimmy Garoppolo running back.
No.
Brandon Ayuk is not a Jimmy Garoppolo wide receiver.
No.
Danny Gray is not a Jimmy Garoppolo wide receiver. The one thing we have to realize is Jimmy Garoppolo is running on the field, but at the same time, there is no part of this offense that goes towards Jimmy Garoppolo's skill set. Hell, we even have a new coach in Anthony Lynn who is not a Jimmy Garoppolo coach. Let's slow the brakes down. I understand that we want Jimmy Garoppolo off this team. I understand that, but if Jimmy Garoppolo even thought he could have any potential to start for this team, that would be Jimmy Garoppolo's worst season of his career. And then I would destroy his trade value because the weapons on the 49ers offense right now are vertical deep threats. That's not Jimmy Garoppolo's skill set. That's why they brought in a guy named Deebo Samuel over in A.J. Brown.
I feel you, Franklin. I feel you. Thanks for telling people. Thanks for giving people something so they don't get too upset. Appreciate it. Franklin, good call. Take care.
You too.
All right, man. Flav says, love Deebo. Name my dog Deebo, but which Deebo? Deebo from Friday or Deebo from the Niners? Definitely worry as some Pablo Sandoval on him. Oh, Deebo from the Niners. Once he gets paid, he's going to start eating whatever he wants. Well, if the Niners have that concern, go year to year. That's because I don't know. They would know better than me. Hey, Grant, says Brian, who do you think will start at center? Probably Brunskill. With such an inexperienced looking offensive line, I thought we could make a late trade for Jason Kelsey. Probably Brunskill. I don't know how good he is, but they like him. And I think they feel that they can get by with two inexperienced guards. Niners daddy says it's hilarious to see Jimmy fans say we need him back because Trey had 1 or 2 rough practices, 5 interceptions in a row. Jimmy left them no leg to stand on. True. People are like, well, you gotta be fair. You gotta grade. Didn't the spreadsheet say you gotta grade Trey the way you graded Jimmy? Like, dude, Trey's better than Jimmy. Always has been. What's up, Elon? You're muted, Elon.
My bad.
All good.
How are you doing, Grant? I heard you're the pulse of this fan base.
Nah, not anymore. It's you. It's you now.
You're doing merchandising with the community. You're a real mensch.
I'm just trying to give the people what they want.
I love it. So I have these MIT interns working for me, and your name keeps on popping up on the algorithmic charts I get.
Well, thank you.
I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
How do you think fans feel about Jed York?
I think Niner fans want to like Jed York. I think they're basically happy with him and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan now. Essentially, they basically have talked themselves into liking him.
I've been looking at the 49ers since about 2019. But, I've been interested and not interested since you guys had that former QB that I couldn't stand watching. But, this new kid, it's got me excited. What do you think the fans would feel about a truly state-of-the-art stadium that makes SoFi look like lo-fi.
I do think it's kind of funny how the Niners were so excited about being like the first team on like the West Coast with a new, except for Seattle, a new stadium. And then they just got blown out of the water by SoFi and the one Allegiant down in Las Vegas. Now all of a sudden, like if you were going to do a Super Bowl on the West Coast, why would you do it in Santa Clara? Vegas, Arizona, freaking LA are better options. So the Niners kind of got the play taken away from them. If they want to be that Super Bowl venue, they might need to go back to San Francisco and build a real stadium.
Yeah, because Levi's looks like a ice cream parlor from like the 50s or something. I want to bring a truly state-of-the-art stadium back into the city, not in Santa Clara. I don't mean to rag on this beautiful city of Santa Clara, but you know, I don't want to go on the metro, the BART, for an hour to see a game.
Fair enough.
I'd rather helicopter there.
BART doesn't even take you all the way. You gotta take multiple trains.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
So I do have a question here. The one other concern that I have with this team is I wanted to ask the question about Jake Brendel and Brunskill. And we know that Brunskill had knee tendonitis and OTA, so he didn't get any work there. He didn't get any work at all. Is the reason why Brunskill is getting the work now is to get him caught up so there is a real competition when pads come on? Or is Brendel looking really bad? Like, because I haven't heard reports that Brendel's looking bad. Is he looking bad?
I think it's not that Brendel isn't looking bad. They haven't put pads on. It's hard to judge. It's Jake Brendel. What is the expectation here? He's 30. He's been a backup his whole life. He's a backup. And Brunskill was hurt. Like, he didn't play at all in OTAs and minicamp. I think basically they were just letting Brendel start. And now Brunskill's been getting worked back. And now he's a lot healthier. And they're like, it's okay. Like, it's your job. And if you're not good at it, then we'll move you back to guard and we'll get another center probably. But right now, I think it's his job to lose. It's never going to be Brendel's job.
Okay, so every day I've heard a report that Brunskill is having bad snaps, right? Like, wasn't that the issue in 2020 with him playing center? Was him having bad snaps? And it seems like every camp day, it's been one or two bad snaps from Brunskill.
Yeah, they probably should have addressed this position.
You know, I'm going to be paying attention.
Though. Swanee, we're right up against the end of the show. Thanks for calling in. I got to take a couple more before we go.
Thanks, Grant.
All right. What's up, Timothy?
Yo, Grant, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey, I just got a couple of questions to ask you. Also, I just want to tell every Niners fans, hey, relax on Trey right now. It's very early.
Okay.
But also, I also want to say, do you think John Lynch has butched this trade with Jimmy Garoppolo, overvaluing him? Because that report that came out when Matt Ryan got traded, he had 2 draft picks ready to go for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll never know what they had. They said they had something available. They just cut him, man. I don't know why they're holding on this long. I don't think they're ever going to trade him. I think they should just cut him at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Also wanted to say what do you think the 49ers record is going to be this year? I'm going to say what's that?
I said 9-8. They were 10-7 last year. The schedule's tougher this year, and they still haven't spent Jimmy Garoppolo's money. Once they spend that money, I might change my prediction, but they have a lot of money just doing nothing. Nothing.
Well, so then cut Jimmy Garoppolo and then go ahead and just sign offensive lineman?
If they get a couple more starters, I'll change. I would revise my prediction. That would change everything. But right now, I mean, it's not Trey Lance who's a question mark. There's like 5 or 6.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, man.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Sean says, day 4, you reported Kinlaw's back and explosive. Can you elaborate? I'm glad you finally gave him a tip of your hat. I mean, he hasn't done one-on pass rush drills. I just saw him warming up, and he looked like he was really, really going very hard. I mean, you saw those videos of him going through the drills. Looks like he's in phenomenal shape. He looks like he's got 8% body fat. So we'll see how, all he needs to do is be healthy enough to do the one-on-one pass rush drills every day. because he's clearly gifted enough to improve. So if he can just go through the process, eventually he'll be good at that. That's what I feel. So that was a step in the right direction. No pads yet, though. Martin, hey, man.
Hey, Graham.
How you doing?
Oh, nice. Hey, I'm on vacation, so it's kind of nice here.
Nice.
So, just a little comp to help everybody in the Niners Nation to take a chill pill and, go with this. When you look at some of the team in the NFL, there's something you can find that looks about Trey Lance or about the Niners right now. But I think even if they are in a really bad division, that the Philadelphia Eagle really mimics a little bit what the Niners are right now with Trey Lance. So I think Jalen Hurts is not a better QB than Trey Lance. He's more seasoned. He's more like you have experience now, but he still get the Eagles last year to the playoff with a way worse roster than the Niners have right now. So I know it's a QB league, but you cannot deny everything around Trey Lance that will make his life way easier. I know this O-line may be shaky. As long as Trent Williams is at left and they can manage like a fast-paced offense with Trey Lance, I think they're going to be fine. And something like 10-7 is really not out of the going out of the water and making the playoff again this year. So
I agree. I mean, if they have a top 5 defense and the number 1 run game in the league, that is recipe for winning. And if they can also, I just think this third down offense, I feel very confident in the defense, the run game, and the explosive passes. What about third down? If they're bad on third down, it'll ruin the whole operation. So we'll see. And it's not just Trey. It's the offensive line. It's everything. So we'll see how that third down offense is. It was bad.
You see, it's the same thing with the red zone. If they're bad in the red zone, it's going to be bad. But
in the red zone, you know who their red zone runner is going to be? Who their goal line runner is going to be? Trey.
Yeah, but
Trey.
I don't know if you. I hope Kyle Shanahan will not fall apart without McDaniels. But if you can manage something around Juszczyk, Kittle, Jennings, Ayuk, Ty Davis-Price, Trey Lance. I mean, how many like first round QB, like the top 5 QB, has so much weapon to play with when they are rookies or when they are. I mean,
it should be good. Just keep them upright. Martin, I got to take one more call.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say before you go?
No problem. No. Just like wish you a nice summer here in Quebec. It just started. Like it's the first time it's 30 Celsius outside of the summer, so it's been really cold and harsh here.
All right.
So,
well, hang in there. Have a good time, and I'll call in again. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you.
All right. This is going to be the last call of the day, and then I got to go. I'm so sorry if I didn't get you, but I'll do this again soon, and I'll get you soon. Josh, let's talk.
Hey, how's it going, Grant?
How you doing?
I want to start by paying you a compliment. My dad loved your dad for 20 years, thought he was a great writer. And I know a lot of people aren't doing what you're doing, but I respect the hell out of you, even if I don't agree with you all the time. So good job, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I also want to say I'm a huge Trey Lance fan. I love him. I mean, I think he's the right choice. When I saw that they drafted him, I spiked my phone. I broke my phone the day that they drafted him because I was so happy that they didn't draft another Jimmy Garoppolo in Mac Jones, right? But that being said, he's not an upgrade this year at quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, there are things that Jimmy Garoppolo does that is underrated. Third down on what he dictates the defense is going to do. For example, if you want to blitz the 49ers on third down, if you want to do something exotic, you have to contend with a quick release and weapons out of the backfield and over the middle, which dictates that the defense is going to rush for and drop back a lot more often than they are going to blitz in those situations. The other thing is, I'm pretty pissed at the 49ers entire organization for what they're doing with Jimmy Garoppolo. They should have released him day one.
I agree.
They won a free agency. He should have been gone. Screw the $7 million. But what they did was they pretended they were going to trade him.
Right.
They were never going to trade him. They were never going to trade him. They knew he wasn't worth anything to anyone with that contract.
Yeah.
They were holding on to him till he could pass a physical. They're going to drop him the last day of the season, and they're going to roll that $27 million over to year 3 of Trey Lance because they've given up on this season. They've given up on it because what are the best friends of a young quarterback? A good offensive line, and security blanket weapons, right? So they didn't get anything in the middle to protect against pressure in his face, which is going to be the thing that's going to make it the hardest for him.
Yep.
And they didn't get anybody to back up the tight end or the fullback position, which are going to be his safety outlets. They have nobody if Kittle goes down. They've got nobody. If Juice goes down, the season is going down the toilet because they got nobody to fill that role. So, like, what were they thinking? Well, they're thinking, we bought ourselves a year. We can do what we want.
Right.
And the 49ers fans are sitting here lapping it up.
Right.
And the most insidious thing is that the Yorks don't care.
Right.
A better ownership would say, no, you're not throwing away a season.
Right.
You're not throwing away.
Trent Williams is 34. What are you doing? He's now.
You got a window.
Now.
You got a window.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Hold on. I just
And
want to say,
so-
though, because you started off like kind of romanticizing Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, there's certain things he does not terribly, but like they were 14th on third down last year as an offense with all these weapons.
Sure.
So,
but
they could
the
be
success
worse,
that he,
but it's not like they were great.
No, but the success that he had in those, 2 minutes left in the game, third down scenario stuff over the last 5 years that we've all seen, and we go, oh, it's magic. It's not magic. It's because his quick release and his way of playing football from the gun dictates what the defense can do in those situations. And
Yeah, but
defenses
Lance
play,
can
it's
dictate
like,
things as well. We saw this with Kaepernick. Like if you play man-to-man coverage on third down against Lance, you better have a quarterback spy who can run with him. Maybe you do.
yeah,
you don't.
but here's the other thing though, right? Is that we assume that everybody scouts the 49ers the way that we scout the 49ers. But how many times have you seen teams just shit the bed? Excuse my language, man. But like the Rams blowing coverages over the middle for no reason when they know that they have to protect the hashes. I mean, teams just how many times did the Packers just like give up gash plays to Kittle over the middle over and over and over again?
Look, dude, I understand. And it's like there are things that Jimmy does well. It's tough with that quick release and yada, yada, yada. But when you know that he can't move or throw down the field or outside the numbers, I mean, you're just checking off a lot of things that you don't have to defend.
And Lance is an upgrade. Lance is absolutely an upgrade.
Over the middle right away. But
he's 22 years old and he doesn't know where the ball is going, Grant. He's 22 years old and he doesn't know where the ball is going.
You have to defend the deep ball, outside the numbers, the scramble. You have to, if you play man, you have to spy him. You have to have a spy. If you play, otherwise you got to play zone. I mean, we saw this play out with Colin Kaepernick. They can be very effective on third down.
Right. And Colin Kaepernick had, a very similar. I mean, people try to draw distinctions between Harbaugh and Shanahan because Shanahan seems to be more cerebral, but they're very similar in their concepts for what wins football games.
Yeah,
right?
they want to run the ball. Anthony Lynn worked with Greg Roman in Buffalo. Now he's working with Kyle. That's the
right.
Yeah.
It's not just that they want to run the ball; it's that they want to dominate your spirit. They want to make it feel inevitable, right?
That's true.
And so when you have a game breaker like Colin Kaepernick, who, when you finally think that you have them bottled up, breaks out to the outside and gashes you for 80, right? Or 60 or whatever, it breaks your spirit.
Right.
It happened to the Packers in the playoffs. Their spirit was broken. You could see it. They thought they'd done everything right and it was gone.
Yep.
So Lance can do that, but he's 22 years old. And I'm sorry, but I keep on hearing comparisons to Russell Wilson and this and that. He doesn't know where the ball is going. He's not certain. Like you talk about confidence issues. If he gets into a groove where he's confident in where the ball is going, he looks like a world beater. But in those situations where he doesn't know where the ball is going, you can tell. And he's going to have quarters like that this year, where they have to take the ball out of his hands because he doesn't know where it's going. He's 22 years old. He's not an upgrade.
Jimmy, man. They took the ball out of Jimmy's fucking hands all the fucking time, man.
I know.
No new,
I know.
Look, it's nothing new. They're just going to run a little bit more. They're going to throw down field a little bit more. I think.
Right.
Look, to me, this
And
look,
they're gonna
look,
and they're gonna go 9-8 or
hold on.
Yeah,
I think it's fair
absolutely.
to say that the Niners have downgraded in certain spots this year. Left guard,
Oh, big time.
Pro Bowler to question mark. Center, Pro Bowler to question mark.
Safety, slot corner.
Dude, quarterback to me is not one of those positions, but we'll see. And Josh, I gotta go. We're 10 minutes overtime. Great call. This was fun.
Thank you, man.
Call in anytime.
Yeah. Have a good one.
All right, have a good one, man. Josh had to bring out the beast in me. Marco, sorry, man. Call in next time. I apologize. I really gotta go. My wife's like, hey, it's time to go. Eugene, I got you next time. Thanks, everyone. Peace.